In today's episode of Tanker's Log, we'll talk about the future of Team Kick, the as of yet unidentified God mode on, the misconception of another rebalance, and our new contest. Tanker's Log is a fan-made video series featuring the latest community news and events, hottest discussion topics, guides, contests, and much more. I'm your host, Archangel. Before we start with the content, I want to give a shout out to my new production team where each member is responsible for generating content for their respective section of the vlog. This is a tryout, and if this system works, great. If not, we'll try something else. I do have a life as a matter of fact, and both this and my other Tanki online jobs are quite demanding, so I'm grateful for all the help I can get. The core of the vlog will be managed by two very talented reporters, Valletta and Raphael too. They have a solid history of producing quality content, so I have no doubts about their capability to deliver the best possible material for the vlog. Planet Awesome is helping me out with creating the contests, and so far he's been the most enthusiastic member of the team, throwing in dozens of ideas and wanting to help out in multiple sections. Sharon and Ice Rugby have offered to help out with Q&A, since their extensive knowledge of the game's ins and outs will definitely contribute to the quality of the answers. Dark Operative was originally in this section too, and has answered some questions in a brilliant way, but he'll be moving to the forum section soon. At first I was desperately searching for someone well versed in the world of clans and cybersport, and I found Aisha, a bubbly and willing helper. Lucky for me, Vikings Raw and his fellow DJ stepped up to help out with that too. You'll be receiving awesome clan news straight from the source. Of course, the forum section needs a lot of watchful eyes, and so this is and will be the biggest section. Fjaustad 1678, XX Monster XX, and Joctionary's brother Monster 0909 will be compiling the forum stuff. Last but by no means least is the creativity team consisting of Buddy Guy and Just Original, both of whom are members of the Outstanding Creative Academy. They will be searching the forums for the best creativity in whatever form that may be, as well as thinking of some Photoshop tips for you graphic hobbyists out there, since Photoshop seems to be the most widespread choice of software. Hats off to you guys, you are awesome! This time about 40% of the content was created by my team, and the other 60% by me. I hope over time these proportions will slowly shift so that I can focus more on the actual production. The latest noticeable update was 196, which consisted of a new feature, where players can invite their friends into their battle. This can be achieved by opening your friends list, clicking on your friend's name, and then selecting Invite to Battle from the drop-down list. Awesome. I totally dug this update. Another unannounced feature was seen on the test server, which seems like an addition to update 196. When viewing the friends list, one could see new icons which were not there before. Crossing swords by your friends' names and the rank icons next to certain battles. Now don't take this for a fact, but it seems like the swords icon is only next to the names of the friends whose rank is adequate to join your battle. That's to prevent you from inviting someone into a battle they can't join. Likewise, your rank icon appears only besides the battles you can join, so you don't switch servers just to discover that you can't join your friend's battle. For all I know, this update could already be out before this vlog is published, but I truly tried. I've noticed plenty of people complaining about the flaws of the Team Kick system and heard rumors of it being changed or removed, so I asked about that just to make sure. In reply I got, yes, the Team Kick system will probably be removed completely. Not a concrete answer, but at least we have a general idea of what to expect. I was also curious as to why there is no server 29. I mean, I can enter directly, but it's not listed in the server list. Turns out that the server is for the German community. I checked by going on the German site, and as expected, it's right there between 28 and 30. You'll probably notice that the Russian and English chats are pretty much empty even at the end of the day, while the German chat is fuller than on any other server. The first Christmas event is already here, but we have to earn our reward by completing a number of small assignments. The reward is the doubling of the battle fund between the 24th of December and the 8th of January. The assignments are all related to social networking and sharing, so it's really easy for anyone to participate. Click here to see the details in the official video if you haven't yet. Open testing of the new physics has come and gone and come again. The opinions of players, as expected, are different. Some love him, some hate him, but almost everyone has got something to say. I've spent quite a few hours extensively testing various combinations, but I won't get into great detail about what the new physics present, as the next issue of the newspaper will probably be crawling with new physics related articles. In short, everything is crazy fast and it will take quite some time for everyone to get used to the speed of the game. Shadow Visions, our new but very old reporter, compared the new physics to a racing game. What can I say, he's right, anyone with a history of Need for Speed will have no problem adjusting to this version of the game. But don't worry, Simeon assured me that what you see on the test server is the maxed out version, close to what you may feel with a so-called M4 on your hands. These extremes were in place to test the limits, collisions of tanks and other things. The real physics will not be that crazy. As far as the crazy shaft damage, it was just a mistake. A Russian developer stated that the shaft stats were set falsely on the test server. We don't know anything else for the time being. The long-awaited Dynamic Lights update has finally made it to the main servers with update 200, quite an important number. The update also claims to have optimized the game for better performance, although players complain that their FPS suffers even more. I'm afraid that there may be a misunderstanding. What has been optimized is everything else, the core graphics. So if before the update you played with minimal graphic features and had an FPS of 30, now you can play with minimal graphic features and have an FPS of 40. Just hypothetical examples, by the way. Having the dynamic lights feature enabled will probably kill your FPS on an old computer, much like the dynamic shadows feature would. Although it seems that the dynamic lights are not as resource intensive as the dynamic shadows. Either way, I hope you find the best combination for your playing style. If you are using Chrome, you may have your own unique issues related to your FPS. In fact, the developers recently posted about that in the forum, so go ahead and check that out at the link below. Maybe it'll fix your FPS. That brings me to the next and new section of the vlog, the contest. Yep, from now on we will have contests which reward the winners with in-game crystals. It's the real deal. With this awesome game update, I've decided to make a contest which somehow involves the new light system. Your task is to make a single screenshot of a furious battle, where numerous different dynamic lights are present. You may crop the top and bottom of the screenshot if you like to hide your crystals and supplies, but the screenshot must be unedited. Submit these screenshots on the Tanki Online English Facebook page in a comment under the post of this video. The contest ends 72 hours or 3 days after this video is posted on Facebook. Anything submitted after that will be ignored. 5 winning entries will be awarded 20,000 crystals. Don't forget to mention your in-game nickname so we know whom to award. Good luck, and may the most epic screenshot win. Will there be another rebalance? Let's first look at the true definition of the rebalance. Before the last month of 2012, all the garage items were divided into 2 tiers. The first tier was for lower ranks, and the second tier was for higher ranks. An M3 weapon from the first tier was weaker than an M0 weapon of the second tier, and it also cost less. The rebalance was an update which merged the 2 tiers and made each item available throughout the entire Tanki career, both low and high ranks. So all M0 upgrades became available within the 2000 crystal range, and all M3s were around 200,000 like they are now. Of course, the stats of each item were changed accordingly. Due to these drastic changes to players' garages, it was decided that every garage was to be cleared out, and a sum of crystals equal to the previously owned items would be given to each player. This was called the refund. So the answer is no. There will not be another rebalance, there will be no drastic changes like the ones I just mentioned, there will be no garage clearing, and there will be no refund. Many players tend to confuse the rebalance with minor tweaks to the weapon and hull statistics, known as Rebalance in Russian, which translates to the completion or finalization of the balance. These changes aren't big enough to cause a refund and will be implemented as an ordinary update. As a matter of fact, the new physics are part of the final balance. Can you please explain how the battle fund grows and how it is allocated? Judging by my conversation with our community manager, the actual formulas are too complicated to explain to the public, at least through one video, and I will not try to calculate them on my own because that would take way too much time. In short, each kill brings up a fund by a bit, and each flag capture increases the fund by as much as it would increase if you killed every member of the opposite team. Of course, other things influence the fund, like returning a flag or capturing a point. I will, however, conduct some experience in the near future with my friends to give you a general idea of how things work. If you're not into the world of Cybersport, this section will not interest you very much. Let's take a look at Cybersport 2.0 and the changes that come with it. Cybersport has always been divided into clans and teams, but now that will change. Clans will be divided into 4 leagues, and the current teams will become a clan in the 3rd or 4th league depending on a number of criteria. The top league contains the 16 top clans. The 2nd league contains the next 32 clans, which consist of skilled players with near full garages. The 3rd league is for the remaining high-ranked clans, which mostly play with M3 combos. And the 4th league is for the medium-ranked clans, which mostly play on M2 combos. Of course, each clan has the opportunity to move up through the league during tournaments if they're good enough, and eventually replace the worst clans of the first 2 leagues. The actual matches will undergo some changes as well. Instead of having 2 rounds of 20 minutes, there will now be 4 rounds of 10 minutes. This is intended to make the games faster and more exciting, and I feel the new physics will make that easy. Although we have yet to see how this turns out in reality. Winners of the match will be decided not by the amount of total flags captured as before, but by the amount of rounds won. Logically, if the score is 2-0 or 3-0 in rounds, at the end of the 3rd round, the match is over. Solo and tandem tournaments have been temporarily cancelled, so the organizers can focus more on the new clan tournaments. However, players can organize their own tournaments. If your tournament is organized well enough, the players responsible will be given support from the administration in terms of crystal rewards for the winning participants. They may also get the opportunity to join the Cybersport teams responsible for organizing official tournaments. If you follow clan tournaments in our community, you know that there was an epic showdown between Clan Vengeance and Clan Noob Army, which ended in an obvious victory for the new champion. Let's watch the recap. Noob Army was clearly on the offensive throughout the match, even in the 2nd round. From the start of the 1st round, Noob Army made numerous attempts at taking the flag, though unsuccessfully. One attack seemed particularly promising when the flag was carried into blue base, but was promptly returned by unhappy Vengeance. At last, during the 8th minute of the game, Noob Army had an opening, and they seized the opportunity to grab the flag and run. Once the flag bearer entered the safety of the blue territory, there was no opposition and he captured the flag with minimal health. During the 13th minute, Noob Army had yet another successful attack, but this time Vengeance weren't going to give up so easily. A huge battle for the flag ensued at the blue base, which eventually resulted in Noob Army capturing the flag after all. During the 16th minute, Noob Army was taking away yet another flag, but due to a small mix-up on the bridge, they lost precious seconds and the flag was majestically returned. Just 1 minute later, the flag is quite easily taken away and captured, leaving Vengeance in the dust with a score of 3-0. The 2nd round started off slowly with Vengeance throwing an attack at Noob Army, but that didn't last very long. And now for the best gameplay of this match. As the 5th minute comes along, Noob Army takes a shot at the flag using 4 attackers. Forever Noob jumps off the long bridge as the flag is passed on to Neophyte on the ledge, who proceeds to drive around the buildings to the flag. Of course, 2 of his friends back him up in case he loses the flag, and not in vain since he was met by 3 opponents by his flag. Eventually, Forever Noob captures the flag, bringing the score up to 1-0 in this round. With just under 7 minutes on the clock, Forever Noob grabs the flag and drives off the bridge again to pass the flag off to Rodell, who almost immediately loses it, but luckily Bramble 6 was around to save the day. Again, he drives behind a building, but is promptly shot down by a panicking opponent. Now safe with his buddies to back him up, all he can do is wait. Since Vengeance replies by stealing Noob Army's flag, the trade-off has begun, but will not last for long as Noob Army shifts its priorities to attacking while Vengeance defends. Bramble storms in to get the flag but is quickly killed. Mesopotamia was coming in right behind him and easily returned the flag. That's already 5-0 for Noob Army in total with only 4 minutes to go. Vengeance wastes no time and starts attacking their opponents, but 3 minutes and multiple failed attempts later, all hope seems lost. And right then an attacker grabs the flag and passes it on to safe territory and proceeds to capture it with no opposition. That leaves Noob Army with a definite victory of 5-1, and a reward of 1 million crystals and 10 lucky 7 paints for its members of choice. The staff topic has been deleted from the rules section, and instead a whole new section has been created just for the helpers of the administration. It's located in the developer's information and currently contains 6 subsections: the Hall of Fame for listing the best helpers of each month, and 4 topics for each of the types of helpers: forum mods, chat mods, consultants, reporters, and Cybersport commentators. The Hall of Fame contains a topic for each month, listing the best helpers of that month, and the other 5 have 2 topics each in them, one to list those helpers, and one that explains how to become that helper. I'd say that it's a lot easier to apply for staff now. Just post a topic in any given section, and an admin will see and review your application and answer eventually. Easy peasy. Come on up, we need your help. Dog M45 posted an interesting topic expressing his desire to have more ranks in the future, in coordination with the so-called M4s that players will get with the micro upgrades. A particularly interesting discussion ensued, considering that Generalissimo is the highest possible rank in an actual military hierarchy. Plenty of great ideas were thrown in. For example, some ranks could be inserted in between the existing ones, like Admiral or Commander-in-Chief. Or perhaps the current ranks should just be extended further so that Generalissimo is only achievable at 2 million experience points instead of the current 1.4 million. Commander at 1.8 million, so on and so forth. Some even suggested that we forget real military and create imaginary ranks that are specific to Tanki Online. Interesting. Either way, the developers have yet to respond to this suggestion, if they've even seen it. I remind you, dear viewers, that if you want your suggestions to be seen, post them in the Ideas and Suggestions topic, where they belong. A noteworthy topic titled "Do You Believe in Evolution?" made by Slightly Psychotic soon sparked up a heated debate, as expected. Though both sides throw forward heaps of evidence for their argument, no end to the discussion is in sight. A fierce believer I may be, but I stay away from such debates for more reasons than one. Contrary to what some people think, the mystery of God Mode On has not been solved. God Mode was not just a Halloween event, as you will now see. Let's look over the information we have about God Mode On. The paint he wears is not the unique forum moderator paint called Ruby. Multiple people have made comparisons of the two paints, and it's painfully obvious that God Mode is not wearing the mod paint. He can change his rank. Though we may not know how he changes ranks, we do know that he has been spotted in battles at different ranks, sometimes a sergeant, sometimes a colonel, and sometimes a marshal. Upon destruction, an unusually large reward is dropped. Most of the time, 3 unannounced gold boxes were reported. Though recently images of hundreds of falling crystals have surfaced as well. God Mode On has been around long after the Halloween event was over. God Mode On has not been spotted on any map other than Polygon in DM mode. Let's take a look at the rumors. His paint is called Devil. A well-known Russian player claims to have gotten info from a tester about God Mode On. He also claims that the paint has 99% protection from everything, which is rather absurd, I'd say. Godrock came to the rescue and put forth some calculations of his own about this, stating that the protection of this paint is closer to 66% or so. The tank is controlled by a developer. Others say that a member or members of a top clan or clans play for God Mode. Something special will happen on December the 14th, as that is God Mode's on registration date in the forum. If you have any evidence that you would like to share, send it in. I'm as curious as anyone to know who this kind-hearted monster is. Let's see what bits of creative awesomeness our English community produced these last few weeks. Navi630 drew an intriguing piece of supermatic art, which I like very much. Let's see some more, Navi. Knight Rider 1997, one of whose images I've already shared in the previous episode, created a stunning effect on this screenshot. The desaturation and blur of the surroundings instantly draws your attention to the brightness of the tank's colors. Me like. Undoubtedly Just Original surprised us with yet another beautiful image, with that touch of abstractness that he loves so much. Beautiful. Judging by the grain in the reflection, Son of Death used some 3D program to create this grungy text. It could be a cool video logo, I reckon. Anyway, our vlog has yet another new section. Do you like designing but can't do it for peanuts? Now you can learn the basics bit by bit by watching these Photoshop tips. Even if you already know how to do this, you might still learn a new method, or at least a shortcut key which you didn't know before. If you're using another program like GIMP, don't worry, the concept is probably the same, you just need to find out which tool to use. In this first episode, we will learn how to cut out a tank from a screenshot from Tank Viewer. The first and simplest way is to use the magic wand tool. Click the gray area to select that color. Notice that if the wand decides to select parts of the tank too, thinking that it's the same color, you will need to lower its tolerance. You'll get best results with tolerance at 0, as the wand will only select that one color. The second way is by using a polygonal lasso tool. In this case, it's also easy, but it takes a little more time. Click each consecutive angle around the tank until you come back to where you started. If you hit delete, you will remove the tank. So hit Ctrl-Shift-I first to invert the selection since we don't want to delete the tank, and hit delete to delete everything else. The last and longest method is just by manually using the eraser tool. I don't know why you would want to do this, but you may as well know how. Trying to draw around the tank by hand is very difficult and will result in crooked edges. So what you want to do is click on one side of a straight line and then hold Shift and click on the other side. This will draw a line, or in this case erase a line, between the 2 points you clicked. Now go around the whole tank and voila, you freed the tank. Hope that helped. Stay tuned for the next tip. In the latest episodes, we've discovered how to climb every single surface of Barda, including the tallest building and the walls. Fly onto the tallest factory in factory, using a funny construction made of dictators. You can watch the full videos here. If you're an epic parkourer, drop me a note. We really need our own parkour team so we can create these videos instead of just translating them. With the new physics, we'll need all the creative minds we can get to come up with new tricks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff, and more will come your way. Archangel, signing out.